Hello, my name is Christian Payne, and I did my final geology review on renewable versus non-renewable resources. The first topic that I'm going to go over are non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are things such as fossil fuels like gas, oil, diesel fuel, coal, nuclear power, and the most predominant fossil fuels that we use today are coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Fossil fuels are what we've relied on for fuels for most of our modern times. Without them, the world would not be the same. Petroleum is crude oil that we use every day in life, such as oil and gas in your car for roads, heating, and electricity generation. The biggest advantage of fossil fuels over a non-renewable resource such as solar power or wind energy is that fossil fuels can be used in so many different ways, not just as electricity. They can use to power your car and all that. The biggest disadvantage of fossil fuels are the greenhouse gas effect, and many people have become very passionate about that issue, such as AOC, and she wants to impose the Green New Deal, which would make us an all-electric country. I do not believe that will happen. Petroleum is a mix of hydrocarbons and rock stratas that can be extracted and refined. And once they're refined, they are used to make gas, diesel, and crude oil. In today's times, many people have become conscious of the environmental harm of petroleum, so they've switched to renewable resources of energy, such as driving a Tesla car. The biggest switch is electric cars because they don't use fossil fuels. Fossil fuels will always be used without them. Our world will be completely different. Oil and natural gas are mined from shallow marine sedimentary deposits in the ocean, mostly, such as oil rigs offshore. Oil and natural gas deposited inside sedimentary rocks that are permeable, such as sandstone and limestone, become reservoirs for natural gas and oil. So that's how we deposit it, through the sandstone and limestone. The most profitable way to extract natural gas are called traps. Here's a picture of a trap. The trap is right there. As you can see, the trap is underneath the ground, and so what we do is we drill a dry hole and extract all of the gas from it. That's a petroleum trap, by the way. Traps are the most profitable source of natural gas and oil mining. Oil and gas outside the trap is less profitable because you have to mine harder for it. And that is for natural gas mainly. Geologists are employed by all petroleum companies so that they know exactly what areas to extract petroleum from, such as offshore. So they look at maps and specialized topography maps to see where the best areas are to drill. And actually only 1 out of 100 spots are probably used to drill. The top picture is an oil refinery in Texas that's a drilling rig. And then this is a natural gas plant that is extracted from the ground using a trap. And then the next thing I have to talk about are renewable resources. Renewable resources are partially a newer kind of energy source. Like, the first solar panel field was built in 2008 in Las Vegas, and it was around $1.6 billion to make, and it produces about 430 kilotons of power a year, and that powers about 140,000 homes in the metro Las Vegas area. The next thing that is another renewable resource are wind turbines. Spring Valley Wind Farm in Las Vegas has around 66 wind tunnels. That is it right there. The Spring Valley Wind turbine was the first field built inside the United States, actually. The 66 wind turbines power 40,000 homes annually and generate 152 megawatts of electricity. And the wind turbines are actually cemented into the crust of the earth, so they do not fly out of the ground. I believe that natural gas and non-renewable resources are a more reliable source of power, and I think that they will be used for longer because they're in our Earth's core and rocks, so we can extract them.